Lovely, that's the Christmas single. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Liam joins us now. It's lovely to see you.
Very nice.
Great to see you
There's one
too.
figure there. That's the 8 billion streams. Strip that down.
Yeah, crazy.
So that must have, you know, when you're launching yourself as a solo artist, that must have been quite a confidence boost.
Yeah, I mean, it was super settling. I mean, even without the streams at the start of it, having, you know, getting called by a cheer and saying, I've got a song for you. And we literally, I remember I was on my way to LA at the time and we U-turned a plane, got off the plane, got back on another one, went home because they wouldn't send his voice over email. He didn't want to send his voice, just in case it got hacked or anything like that. So we literally U-turned and then got back. And, I mean, it was the craziest thing, just getting that kick off with that song and having, over 1 billion streams with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, amazing. Well, well done you. The album itself has taken, it's sort of around about 2 years it took to finish it.
Yeah, it's
and I
taken
guess
a minute.
because when you have an album out there, it's got to be a little piece of you, and you're still sort of trying to work out who you are, really.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, when we were in the band, it was a kind of a case of we'd have 2 weeks to write the album and then they'd have already sold a tour, so we'd have to get the album done and then record it on the road. Was usually the way it was done. So for this one, for myself, I don't know why, I just wanted to take a little bit of time over it and make sure I got it right. You know, also finding your sound, getting into, like, new teams and stuff since we all disbanded and went our separate ways and whatever. So, yeah, it's taken a little bit of time.
So when you say that you wanted to sort of find yourself when you're doing it and you're, you know, sitting there
I'm still
writing...
trying to do that, if I'm honest.
Are you? So who did you find?
I mean, I found a number of different people, actually, which was quite a scary thing. But, I mean, you know, over the 2 years of making this, there's so many different things that have gone on in my life, you know, to have my child Bear and all sorts of different relationships and things I've been in. So, I mean, it should make quite an interesting listen, really.
The Christmas song, I think, if you're a singer, it must be a bit of a dream to have a Christmas song at some point because they can become such iconic songs that you listen to every single year. So there's a bit of a pressure with that. Yeah,
I mean, it was a bit scary at first. Like, people often, you know, who've lost loved ones or have lost love or, and, you know, any form of thing that can be going on in your life. If you can make it through that 1 month, usually coming into the new year, new start, things get better. So I thought, you know, it was about time somebody made a song like that, really.
And it's a very clever title because
Very sneaky title, yeah, it's good.
Which means
that wasn't actually me. I'm going to throw my hands up and say it wasn't me, but
that puts you pretty much directly under Mariah.
Yeah, and everyone who's looking for a really happy Christmas song just gets a really sad one. But hopeful still, a little bit.
No, it's very good. It is mad. Like when we showed you a little montage there at the beginning and the way that starts, and there was that 14-year-old boy with a dream, you know, auditioning there, and you were really brave because I was doing Extra Factor that year, and I remember you got as far as Simon's judge's house, went all the way to Barbados, and then had that horrible flight. Was it a big decision to come back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd kind of tried to make it by myself for 2 years and done all sorts of different gigs and different things. My dad was kind of like my roadie at that point. He was making my CDs and carrying the speakers around and whatever else, which was a fun time, and it was a nice little learning bit for me. And I'm glad I got that before I got back and got into the band because I'd already been on so many different stages and experienced, you know, massive successes for failures, all these sorts of different things before entering this, like, mad, turbulent world that it is, really.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you look at all the hopefuls on X Factor and they have such massive dreams and you know, it's going to be incredible, it'll be fantastic, it will change my life, all of which, you know, does happen. But it's not that simple.
No, I mean, it's quite a crazy thing for me. And you know, I often get asked, obviously Louis went on and judged the show, but I don't think I could do it because I feel like I've been far too close to that lifestyle to ever be able to tell everybody what to be ready for, almost.
But for you, when you got into the band, was it what you expected it to be? Because you said you have said that there were times where I just have to get out. I have to stop. This is driving me mad.
No, I mean, it's definitely been a crazy, wild. You know, everyone's kind of looking at this decade, and my decade's literally been this, which has been the maddest turnaround of all. And it's a really weird thing to look into. But no, I don't think any of us really expected it to happen in that way, really. You know, we were just kids at the time that we made the band. I remember my dad saying to me, you know, because X Factor finished at Christmas, he was like, don't come home till Christmas, the day that I left, and then I never came home. So it's like the weirdest thing.
What you wish for.
Ever, yeah. It's a really crazy thing.
And a big thing, I guess, is once you've had all this success and dealing with that and the pressures, and we'll come on to more of those at the moment, but is finding out who you are without the band beside you, and after all of that's ended.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing. As the band kind of stopped and we had a number of months off, it was almost like going through some, like, weird early retirement. And then my dad actually happened to retire just after I'd quit the band, and I was like, well, wait for this to happen, you're going to want to sleep loads. We were, like, talking about it. It was a really weird conversation to have with your dad, at 22 as well. So it was very strange, but, I mean, yeah, trying to find yourself, especially after the band, you know, we were so used to being together and being known. You know, people still call me One Direction in the street. It's like, it's your name. So at the same time, trying to find out who you are.
Sportsmen and women, of course, they say when you finish and it's suddenly not there anymore, it's like, well, actually, what am I?
Yeah, what's your purpose?
What is, yeah, what is
exactly.
And you had therapy.
Yes, I went through a number of different bits of therapy and whatever else. I think, you know, as Strip That Down was coming out, I was almost just as afraid of the success as I was the failure, which isn't a really very comfortable place to be in life because you're just not really sure what you're doing. You know what I mean? It was one of those sorts of things. So I went away. I had a little bit of a thing with drink, and it was a guy called Chip Summers who got me sober. I went sober for a year. And went and visited Russell Brand, actually, which was quite amazing. We went down to a meeting together and spoke about different things. It was just quite nice. You know, I think for anybody out there who is having a problem with mental health or something and that struggle it is, but the best thing is to just go and speak to someone. Because if you go through it by yourself, you're your own soundboard and we're all just as crazy as the next person. So it's like you need someone to validate you know, your experience almost.
And stopping drinking for a year, was that something that you planned to do for longer, or did you just know, actually, I just need to sort of push reset a little bit?
Yeah, for me, I think I was just at a point in my life where I was too young to stop. And you know, in a way, it turned my social life upside down as well. So it was a very lonely experience as well as it was. Like, many things in my life went up, but also a lot of things in my life went down at the same time. So, you know, for me, it was just about pressing that reset button for a minute and realising that you could, you know, cope without it and learning about emotions. You know, we have to mask our emotions in so many different ways, and I think it's very important that you learn to deal with emotion as well, and as raw as it is, so that you know you're going to be all right.
Did you keep in touch with the rest of the guys? Did they feel a similar sort of thing?
I don't know. I mean, we've never really discussed it. I mean, I speak a lot to Louis, who's obviously, you know, he's had a crazy few years, more so than anyone. You know, a very sad few years for him, actually. But he's doing amazing. You know, he's transformed him into the most beautiful human being ever. And I love spending time with him. And it's nice, you know, to reach out to somebody who's been through that same experience. And when I often think about somebody like Justin Bieber, who kind of went through his whole level of fame by himself. He had no one else who knew what it was like to be Justin Bieber, which I think is, you know, kind of hard. So I tend to give him a little bit of a break sometimes. Whereas, you know, for us, we had each other and we all knew what it felt like to be in one direction. And it still feels that way today.
Is it weird that Harry and Niall have both tweeted announcing their singles were out tomorrow? I mean, is that just like, what are the chances of that
It's just so interesting, yeah. I mean, you know, we've all had a little bit of space between releasing music, actually, and then it just all seemed to happen on the same day.
It's so
but it's
weird.
great. I mean, it's almost like the One Direction album's out now. But it's just in different packets.
Put it all together.
Exactly.
And what are you doing for Christmas? Will you see Bear?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go down and see Bear, maybe cook a Christmas dinner and just hang out with family. Yeah, cook.
Do you?
Everyone's always really surprised.
No, I just wondered. I don't imagine you have much time to cook.
No, honestly, I like to do Sunday roasts. It just brings you back to normality. Obviously, at home with my girlfriend at the moment. But, yeah, we're going to go down and cook some food and hang out. Nice. And I think, you know, he's the first time he really gets Christmas now.
Yeah.
I want to see if he actually gets unwrapping presents this year, though, because otherwise it'll just be Cheryl by the tree again. I can really remember it from last year. She wrapped them all up and then unwrapping them, and I just sat there going, right, what is this?
Oh, it's very sweet.
It's lovely to see you.
It is.
This is what we've been talking about. There you go. Lovely, nice to have a bit of vinyl as well.
Yeah.
And have a lovely Christmas.
Yes, lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.